Welcome to the Field of Streams, where I, your host, Janeen McCrae, bring you the tiny thoughts that stream from my brain and present them to you as though they're a swanky little potentially poisonous and unidentified aromatic that you hack into cubes with an antique blade found buried in your garden. An aromatic that adds not just volume, but a waft of opulent arrogance and possibly death to a hearty winter stew. Whiffy. Now, I can't promise you much with these weekly nibbles, but I can promise you this. I won't keep you long. Today's missive was inspired by a Lenz post. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her last name. But anyway, it was from her excellent newsletter, Men Yell at Me. She writes smart things on a whole bunch of things. Excellent journalist, author, etc. But I think my favourite posts are the Dingus of the Weeks. I'll put a link to those in the description. You'll see what I mean. Now, unfortunately, the post by Liz that inspired my post is now behind a paywall, so I can't link directly to it, or you'll just get mad when you click through. It was free back when I wrote this in 2021, but good for Liz for going paid. Make that living. But fortunately, everything we need to know for the purposes of setting up my episode is contained within the headline and subline. The post was called Screaming into the Wind, which is something I do all the time. And the subline was Remembering Iowa's 2020 Derecho. So there's two things in there already that I had no idea about. One, that Iowa had a derecho in 2020. And two, the word derecho. What in the blue blazes is that word? I did Google how to pronounce it, and I hope I'm getting it right. It does sound a little bit like street vagabond rather than what it is. There's also a Spanish definition, which is less storm-based. But let's move on. I'm getting caught up in the weeds. Derecho is a word. I ain't never heard it before. That's really all you need to know. Now, whenever this happens, whenever a word that I've never heard in my life up until that particular moment puts up its hand and alerts me to its presence, it just knocks me off my smug little, I know words, perch. Fun fact, it's not just words with me, but spellings too. It's rather embarrassing to admit this, but I was in my 20s before I realised that the word February has an R in it. That continues to trip me up all these years later. But I'm rambling. Today's episode is a flowery exposition on the joy of discovering something you didn't know. Basic premise, the mystery and surprise of the unknown word is a delicious gift for you to open. Without any further waffling, here is the post, Derecho, the perfect word storm. The thread of narrative. It ties its yarn around greedy eyeballs and pulls sight through the sentence loom. You are a willing participant to this toil, a reader forever stitched into the fabric of the prose, frolicking amongst chapters, devouring long plot lines and intrigues. As you weave your way through, your mind is spun. Sentence, paragraph, chapter, and tome. Subject, object, verb, protagonist, antagonist, obstacle, conflict, resolution. You are lost in the colours. It is sublime. This rug maker is an artisan. You read on and the story carpet grows. With each new revelation of meaning, understanding blooms in this intellectual spring. Drinking in meaning, context, emotion and weight, words fly by, and your brain processes each one in turn, separating every delicate row in this story's tapestry and spinning words onto spools. More words, more spools. Brain files them above and below deck in cavernous spool rooms, catalogued for easy reference so that you may consult and perhaps use them yourself one day. This way, words, says Brain, watching like a proud parent. Single file. The knowledge absorption is progressing nicely. Until it isn't. In the middle of a paragraph, information flowing and data downloading, you are brought to a complete standstill as the mental machinery fumbles its bobbin and a stitch drops. What is that word? Brain consults the spools. No spool on record. Clean-skinned spool. Unmarked. Alert! We have an unknown word. The word stranger just sits there, right in the middle of that sentence, all innocent and serene. No hint of meaning held in its specific placement of letters. You've never met this word before. Your ego briefly puckers in shame before your curious universe mode activates and loosens its belt. It is ready for brain belly expansion. The unknown word. What a gift. A beautiful, holy, magical gift. Of all the words in all the world, this is the one that escaped the clutches of your word spool collection endeavours. And here it is, ready to make its introduction. The word stitch that dropped for me this past week was Derecho. I have never in my life heard this word. Never. From what I could gather from the article, it was some kind of tree-destroying weather event, but it had to be more than that. It had a weight to it. Derecho seemed so specific. So I did what any word-fearing heathen would do. I called in a big swinging dictionary. Definition. Derecho. A large, fast-moving complex of thunderstorms with powerful straight-line winds that cause widespread destruction. How have I never heard this word before? How do common words slip by us in the night of our lifetimes? And why, when faced with a word stranger, are we so embarrassed to admit we don't know it? I get the whole, I don't want to look dumb thing, but the chance to expand the brain box is always a good thing, no? The surprise of discovering a strange word mid-sentence is one of the last doesn't hurt anyone kind of thrills left in this world. I think we should celebrate it more. Hey everyone, heads turn. I didn't know this word. Points at word, crouches down to look word in face. I say hooray to the endless supply of words like you, whom I have yet to meet. Hooray! May we all encounter the drop stitches of our learning, get out our needles and darn them right back into the row. I'm being overly dramatic, I know. It's just a word, Derecho. You probably knew it, just as I probably know words you don't. It's all luck, circumstance and exposure. The writer knows a word, the writer uses a word. The reader is given the choice of either skipping over and moving on, or looking it up to file away in their own vocabulary. I am not dumb for not knowing Derecho, just an incomplete work in progress. Like all of us. It's hard to learn entire philosophical concepts, whole scientific theories, laws. Even memorising a monologue is a bear, but learning a single word at a time, the building blocks of all these things, is the easiest thing of all. Word definition. Take that word and definition, send it in the direction of the old brain word shepherd, and listen for the spool spin. Next time you encounter the unfamiliar, grab that word stranger by its vowels and consonants and yell into its startled face, "Hooray! What do you mean?" Read more, listen more, submit to not knowing everything. Let the Derecho blow through and flatten your forest of darkness. By my watch, it's time for a renaissance anyway. It's impossible to know all the words, but it's nice to collect the carpets and rugs as they blow by. And there you have it, this week's episode. If you enjoyed it, please follow and show your support by sharing it with your friends so I can get more eyes through ears punters experiencing my writing. And you? Well, if no one has told you lately, I appreciate you. I also hope you'll come back for more. These little missives are designed to inspire creative folk to get out there and make something of their own. If you do enjoy my writing, please be sure to subscribe to the stream newsletter at janeenmccrae.substack.com. And until next we meet, love what you love, and I'll see you out there making stuff.